Tech gave the Big 12 a huge boost in one way, and it's something that did not happen at all last year. All right. It's a huge credit, first of all, to Joey McGuire for keeping Texas Tech. I was thinking about this today, for keeping Texas Tech as focused as he did throughout everything that happened this past week. Because as I'm reflecting on this week in this game, obviously it wasn't like a knockdown, drag out classic game that you would have loved to have had, that everybody was trying to tune into. You didn't get that. You got Texas Tech crockpotting somebody again. Shout out to the solid verbal, just crushing them over the course of time. And in the end, it was not a competitive game at all. But it was a great showcase for Texas Tech. Like, the fans that were there, that were getting a lot of love, obviously, from Game Day. But, like, if you're a Josh Pate fan who, you know, he's approaching 500,000 followers on YouTube. It's the biggest digital platform, I think, in the sport right now. He was there posting a lot about it. Tons of people got a real intro to Lubbock, and it was just rave reviews from how Texas Tech supported that team. And first of all, it's a great thing for throwing it in the face of anybody who's going to talk about the Big 12. Like, look, there are great fan bases, great schools that are really about the fabric of the sport here. So kudos to Texas Tech for that. It turned into this wonderful showcase for them and their defense. I would also say the Tech defense lived up to the hype 110%. And anybody watching that game is going to come away being like, okay, that's a potential national championship caliber defense. You don't have to believe Tech is a national championship caliber team. We can have that debate, but that's a national championship caliber defense for sure. And to live up to all the hype, man, that is not easy. And this is where, like, some of the stuff with Texas Tech can get a little twisted, where it's like everyone's like, oh, they just threw a bunch of money at this problem. I mean, okay, you can do that, but you also have to be smart in the way you build your roster. And I've talked a lot about that, but it's also like just a coach that builds a culture. And I think it's clear that Joey McGuire can build a really good culture. And you know, you have good culture when, like, the entire college football world centers on your campus and your team for the first time in 15 plus years, right? And you just handle it like it's nothing. You go out and play one of your better games of the season, if not your best game of the season, certainly in the conversation for that, just no problem at all. You know, I mean, you had people watching your practice all week. I was seeing like videos of that, of the College GameDay crew in at Texas Tech's practice during the week. Like, they were going after practice. They're going to Tech fans. I'm spacing on the name of the area where all the kids were lined up. Anyway, my apologies on that. But you're going out there and, like, hanging out with all the kids that are camped out, playing video games with them and stuff. That's not a normal week. Like, that's you would think a lot of pressure. It just didn't matter, dude. It didn't matter. Joey McGuire had those guys focused. That is a focused team, and or they're just so talented that it doesn't matter. And either way, that's a really good answer to have to the problem. Like, even if there is a bit of distraction, you're just talented enough to overcome that. They've had games this year, Houston, rather, where it didn't feel like they were all that sharp, maybe not all that focused, and it doesn't matter. I mean, they crockpot you, man. By the end, you're totally cooked, and that's what they did to Houston. Obviously, it's what they did to BYU. Now, what they have done for the Big 12 is give the league a giant shot of credibility, assuming that they don't lose to UCF or West Virginia. Okay, now I am saying that understanding this is college football. We've seen a lot of really crazier things. West Virginia fans, speaking of, could definitely tell you about a crazier loss that they've seen in college football history than Texas Tech slipping up and losing one of these last couple of games, okay? So, Tech, don't make me look silly here, especially after I just talked about how focused you were with the entire world focused in on you, and a program that is not used to getting that kind of love and respect and adoration, okay? But if Texas Tech does get to the Big 12 championship game, at least plays a good game in the Big 12 championship game, they have restored a different level of credibility to the Big 12 this year than what we've had in the past. Because right now, I think a lot of the prevailing narrative in college football after this week is kind of like, hey, we've got a tier of like 7 or 8 legitimate bona fide playoff teams. You know, I've seen this talking point a lot. Hey, beyond that, we're going to fill out the rest, 9 through 12, right? They will be in a playoff, but are they really, like playoff caliber teams. I think the feeling is there's like 8 that are in that group right now. Texas Tech is definitively one of them. They are definitively in that group, and that was not a part of the conversation at all last year for the Big 12. So that is a really good positive thing that the league has this. At this time, it is really easy to forget. I was looking through some of my old notes from last year. As we were getting to the middle of November last year, the conversation was we were having to defend here on this channel the Big 12's honor in like, wait, hey, could there be 2 G5 teams that get in? And 2 G5 teams could actually get in and keep the Big 12 champion out of the playoff picture entirely? Like that, we were having that conversation, okay? This year, it's like everybody knows, okay, yeah, Texas Tech is a playoff team. After this week, it's like, all right, for sure. There's no doubt left there. Texas Tech is a playoff team. Okay, they got to take care of their business for sure. Joey McGuire, I'm sure, would hate this segment. They got to take care of their business, but Tech is a playoff team. That helps the league a bunch, especially when the ACC is scuffling as much as they are right now, right? And even like, the Big Ten looking like a 3-bid league. I guess maybe 4. Maybe some are going to think USC climbs in there. But it's been pretty good for the Big 12 in terms of where they stand right now, based on the strength of you need a big boy that everybody looks at and like, yeah, that's a definitive playoff team. I think that group right now, if you're wondering, well, who are the 8 teams, John? I mean, I think it's Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Oregon. Okay? That would be the 8. And beyond that, you're starting to get into teams that are flawed, teams that have 2 losses, a big group there of which BYU and Utah, I think, definitely belong in the discussion. I don't think many people are really denying Tech being in that group at this point. There was like a little bit, I saw one guy who covers Oklahoma and Texas being like, both of these teams are bad. There's no way these teams are the number 7 and 8 teams in the country. I mean, you got like a little bit of that, but I don't think from anybody serious. And how could you, after you watch Tech's defense, man, just it passes the eye test, regardless of what you think about the conference. Oh, the Big 12, G5 conference, whatever. If you're going to be a hater, regardless of what you think about the conference, the Texas Tech defense passes the eye test. There's just simply no denying that. And they delivered on everybody vouching for them throughout the week, because to me, it felt like this week was a lot about the big guns in the college football world: Brees Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Game Day crew, Chris Fowler, Josh Pate, anybody with a big national platform telling you how good the Tech defense is. And then the Tech defense looked as good, if not better, when they actually went out there and played. So, and if you don't buy that, I mean, I was listening to the Pro Football Focus college football show earlier today, and I mean, they just for 10 minutes rattled off stat after stat after stat about how well this defense is grading out. Texas Tech has the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th best defensive players in the country right now. They're only slightly behind Ruben Bain at Miami, who's a total freak. David Bailey just behind him at number 2. Jacob Rodriguez at number 3. Romello Hyde at number 4. Crazy. That's crazy. I mean, that's an SEC quintessential, like SEC level defense that Texas Tech's rolling out there right now. They have the top-ranked pass rush in the country, top-graded run defense in the country. They spent a lot of time saying, dude, just give Jacob Rodriguez the Butkus Award, best linebacker, and the Burlsworth Award, best walk-on, best former walk-on in college football right now. And even talked about, hey, Tech would have a chance against an Ohio State or Alabama because their defense would legitimately give them problems. So, listen, across the college football world, there is a new level of credibility for the Big 12 this year because of what Texas Tech has done. And it's exactly what we have talked. It's kind of a best case scenario if you're thinking like long-term what this could look like for the Big 12, something that I talked about in the offseason. Best case scenario for the league is that Tech proves, hey, if you get the money and you go spend it wisely, you can build a championship caliber roster, a win games in the playoff caliber roster. That would be a big time precedent setter. And you need a team to start building a brand and becoming a national power that people will trust. And whether you say it's the oil money, I saw someone commenting on the fans in the student section that had the sign like, oh, I love oil. They were like, well, at least they're embracing it. It's like, who cares? Who cares where the money comes from? Like, are you saying that about where Alabama's money comes from with the donors? Whatever. Drives me nuts. But people understand Tech has money. They have talent. You start to establish that reputation, you're going to get more benefit of the doubt. The Big 12 needs somebody to step up and do that. Right now, Texas Tech is having its moment. Texas Tech is having its moment. They're laying a lot of groundwork toward that. It's not a guarantee that this happens every year. If you're playing the portal, it's not going to happen every year. But guess what? Tech is not just playing the portal. They are doing a great job recruiting the high school ranks, using that money there. So I think right now the wheels are in motion to make that happen. It's incredibly beneficial for the Big 12.